So here's the answer to all of life's questions, or at least these questions. You can see in this page that I'm about to put up here, the first one is omnidirectional. That means we can hear in 360 degrees all around equally. The second one is bidirectional, figure 8. So you can hear in the front and the back, but not from the sides. The third is cardioid. You can hear mostly in the front, not so much in the back. And hypercardioid, which is very similar to supercardioid, but even more hyper. No, they're very similar. Hypercardioid has a little tighter space where it doesn't get as much from the sides generally, but there also is this little space in the back where you can hear directly in the back at 180 degrees. As you can see in this page, I have found that if you put a little microphone in there, it becomes a lot easier to read. You can see the degrees, 360 degrees around, and then you can see every circumference, every circle down is 5 dB less. So, for example, on the cardioid, the bottom left there, from exactly the side, 90 degrees or 270 degrees, it receives, the sound is 5 dB quieter from that side. And it's much quieter from the back, as you can see. All right, we are going to move on and see what all these things sound like now. See you there. So, when you're using different mics and different polarities, there's two things to consider. One is the sound that you are initially creating when you play or sing something. And then the next is all the reflections, the room that you're in, right? And the different kinds of polarities affect how much of the room you can hear. When we design recording studios, we design different types of rooms. So you can have different sounds in different rooms. We're just going to quickly walk around the different rooms in my studio so you can see just what one example of different audio environments changes the sound. And think about different kind of mics you'd use in these different settings. So here's the control room of my studio. You can see in here is where we basically do all the recording and things like that. I actually have a vocal ISO booth over here. If we play just a little snippet of a Beatles song, she loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. She loves you, yeah, 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 yeah. Okay? So you can hear there's very little reverb in here. If we come over here to the vocal ISO booth, I've got a Neumann TLM 103 here. Out here you can hear a little echo, but if you can bring that camera in here, yeah, in here in the vocal booth, you actually probably hear almost no echo, and you see my nose way too close. There you go. When we go in here, this room has even more sound isolation. Come on in. This is my main tracking room. And when all the doors are closed, no sound gets in, no sound gets out. You can see all the treatment. And if you hear the same song played here, you'll probably hear even less reverb. She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. She loves you, yeah, 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 yeah. All right? Now, same thing. We're going to go up to the piano room, but first, we've got a little digital piano here. If we play another song by the same band that you may have heard of, no reverb here. Hey Jude, don't make it bad. Take a sad song and make it better. The minute you let her into your heart, you get it, okay? So now, if we go out into the rooms that are designed to have more reverb, this is probably the craziest room in my studio. Many studios have one crazy room. This is the room with the indoor soccer field and the disco ball. So you can turn the disco ball on. And as crazy as all this stuff seems to have an indoor soccer field, Sydney, if you can show them there, there's 16 inputs, 16 outputs right there, right? So we can record drums in here. You can hear already, just listen to the different sound. She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. She loves you, yeah, 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 yeah. Right? So already you hear a big echo, right? And as silly as things like the disco ball and the soccer field may seem, it's actually really wonderful at a creative place to have fun things. People in between takes, people can go do fun things in this room. We do it all the time. but we can actually work in here. People also think it's just funny to record drums here. Now, if we go upstairs, we have the piano and choir room. We have recorded pianos, choirs, other instrumentalists up here. And you can see this room has hardwood floors. It has 18 or 22-foot ceilings. You can already hear it has a different, really beautiful reverb in here. You can show them, there's the inputs right there for that goes down to the control room, right? And if we record, we'll play the same song here. She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. She loves you, yeah, 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 yeah. Right? I wish I'd written that song, I'd have a lot more money. And then, if you play a real piano, and by the way, we can make the real piano even louder, right? By opening this, or closing it. Compare this version of Hey Jude to the one I played downstairs. The one downstairs is completely dry. This one's a lot different. Hey Jude, don't make it bad. Take a sad song and make it better. The minute you let her into your heart. So you get the picture. So there's a lot more reverb there. Now, for those of us who don't have our own professional studios yet, right? I will tell you, before I built the studio downstairs and connected this, I used to record my vocals in just this little office in my house right here. This is just a normal office room, like anybody else's office. I remember recording an entire album of vocals where we had a ladder, and I had mic stands, and then we put a big comforter from a bed. I put the laptop right here, and I recorded the vocals for the entire album in this room, making a makeshift vocal booth, right? And you can do that at your house too. You can be creative in all sorts of different ways. But the point there, when I was recording vocals with the cardioid mic, was to try to eliminate all of these reflections that you still hear here. Okay, now we're going to go to different mic types.